All right, traders, watch this video for Thursday, January 10th. The SPY still slowly climbing higher. Pretty impressive bounce so far. Here's what I'm going to be watching for tomorrow. SAEX, I'm a little disturbed, or not disturbed, I'm disgusted at myself because I had said during the day, I said, keep this one on watch because if it closes strong, it's one of those that could run in after hours, right? And so I'm going to show you the intraday action. So it was kind of bleeding lower. So I never did anything with it in the afternoon, right? And then here's the last, that's like, let's see, these are 5-minute candles. This is the last 20 minutes or so. And what generally happens when you've got a low float stock that's having huge volume on the day and they close fairly strong, what usually happens is then the daily chart is going to catch a lot of attention, right? Everybody coming home from work, looking up charts, massive volume, strong close, probably going to follow through tomorrow. And what happens is, oftentimes, unless there's an offering or something, they will run in after hours. And as I'm babbling right now, this thing's trading at 460. So back to intraday, when you see that scenario and you know you're near the closing bell, you could have just nibbled 500 shares, right? And you'd be up almost 500 bucks right now for a sale in after hours. So I'm a little annoyed at myself because I didn't do that. I had a great day, but anyway, this one's on watch for tomorrow. If it's going to gap up, you know, it kind of changes the whole dynamic, but it still might give a decent gap play setup. And I'll give you an example of a gap play setup. CGC this morning landed on our gap play list because, you know, every day in pre-market and chat, I go through the pre-market gappers and check and see if there's news, check the float and all that stuff, check the chart. And CGC landed on our gap play list because it had pre-market volume, and I think it got an upgrade with a price target of 40 or something, right? So showing you 2-minute candles, this is what happened. It opens at 342, sells, or 342, 3042, sells off, flushes 30 a little bit, and then comes right back up. And I just called this long in chat as a red to green. I said, hey, this one might go red to green, which is just taking out the opening print and going above it, right? 3043, triggered right there, and the thing never, ever looked back. Ended up going out basically on its highs. That's a huge move there on about 25 cents risk, well over $3 on 25 cents risk. So there's an example of a morning gap play. Probably deserves to be on watch tomorrow. I actually don't have this on my list for tomorrow, but all right. So after SAEX, let me continue. I don't love this one, MRIN, but it had this bounce. And then today on much lower volume, almost retraced yesterday's pop. But because it's had such impressive action like this pop, and then a really nice move that we called ahead of time in chat yesterday, posted the chart in last night's video, you know, you've still got support here. So it's kind of back down near support. Sometimes what happens is you get the 1-day pullback after the bounce, and the very next day it goes again. So I am going to watch it, but I'm a little less bullish on it with the almost complete retracement of yesterday's move. Doesn't cost me anything to have it on a chart though. I'm not very bullish on this one either, but UXIN may have just put in a higher low. Like here's the all-time low, and it just off a cliff here, right back down, a little bit higher, and a nice volume pop today, closing fairly strong. So I'm just looking for another day, like a follow-through bounce day from today's bounce. It's certainly not a bullish chart, but as a day trader who's in cash every night, I can maybe make some money tomorrow. Remember, I don't hold anything into the close. So there's nothing impressive about this chart, VERI, except that in after hours it's trading right now at 554. I think they had earnings after hours. So let me kind of zoom in there. So, and I don't know where it's going to open. It's trading at 560 right now. So it's trading right about here. So a potential gap and go tomorrow. Again, with a proper, maybe a red to green like I just showed you that we had in CGC today. I'm going to put that one on watch. DCIX, the shippers have caught some attention in our chat room the last couple days. And then there's nothing really impressive here, right? There's no great setup, but again, in after hours, I think they came out and announced a buyback, if I'm not mistaken, in after hours. And right now it's trading at 121. So it's trading all the way up here. So we might have, the shippers might all be ignited tomorrow. So I'm going to watch all the baby shippers, but DCIX certainly getting some after hours volume. So I'm going to watch that one. AKER back up near this $1.50 high. You had this nice volume push here and it's worked its way back up. So I like this one as a potential long over $1.50. SNNA, certainly a thinner stock. None of these candles, none of these sticks are a million shares, so it just shows you how thin it is. But it's just fallen from 10. These are daily candles, so over the course of a month, down to almost 2. And then the last few days, it had a nice pop right up into the 20-day there, but all the way to 380. a couple day pullback and nice volume today, closing pretty strong. So it's a thin one and probably pretty spready. I don't think I've ever traded this one before, but it's going to be on watch. CCCL starting to kind of curl up after finding support. Had a huge move back here, a really huge move back here. Certainly one to watch, CCCL. CRMD. I still like this one. You had this high. Okay, first of all, you had a high back here at 240. Then I would say, like on the daily chart, you had a lower high here at $1.85. Then you've got two equal tops here from the last 3 days right at $1.80. So over $1.80, you might just take out. I view a point like this, a recent high that's just 1 point on the chart. I view that as a catalyst, not resistance. So I say over 185. So if you get through 180, you might take out this 185 and maybe head to 2. And, I don't know, maybe retest this 240 high. So it's a decent setup. Has it consolidated enough after this 3 or 4 day move over the course of a couple days to have another leg higher? I don't know, but it'll be on a chart nonetheless, right? Couple more. Dry ships. I didn't type that right. DRYS. Speaking of shippers, dry ships actually broke the highs from June over the last couple days, and then you've got a 2 day pullback now on declining volume, kind of retesting the breakout areas. If you picture a line where my cursor's going, it's right about here where it broke above all this trading, right? So it's kind of coming down and retesting that. So I like the setup because it's been really strong for a week, and then you've got 2 days lower, and like I said, shippers getting some attention in after hours. So certainly keep an eye on all the shippers. I'm watching dry ships for potential bounce tomorrow. And not in love with this one. It's always been a squinky trader, this VHC, but had a huge day yesterday, and then today a little bit lower volume inside day. Sometimes you get a third day turn right back up. So there's plenty to watch there, and we'll add some gappers in the pre-market to this list. So should be plenty to trade tomorrow. We'll see you all in chat. Have a great night.